What is ironic, Don, is that it happened on the same weekend that America celebrated its 250th birthday. And so it's a pregnant pause for our community. As much as we think that we've made strides, we're making the electric slide backwards. Mississippi is also the same ground that killed Medgar Evers and Emmett Till. And we add now to that list Nolan Wells. And so it's really a sobering day for all of us.
This supposed to be a man of God. God didn't give you no wisdom. You ain't got no evidence that nothing happened to the boy other than he may have drowned. But you sitting there pushing this stuff. I just can't stand these people, man. Before we get back to the show, I want to tell you guys about Synergy. If you're tired of energy drinks that spike you up, make you jittery, and then crash you later, Synergy is built differently. Synergy Day gives you clean, steady energy and focus with natural caffeine from green tea. Synergy Night helps you wind down so that you can rest, you can wake up clean, not groggy. It's a simple day and night system made with natural ingredients, no sugar spikes, and no synthetic stimulant overload. Go to synergylife.com and try it for yourself. Better energy, better rest, better rhythm. I want to honor Nolan Wells on his birthday. I believe today is his birthday. That kid was an amazing young man. That kid, Nolan Wells, was an example of what I believe young black men should be. Blameless, great reputation, doing what he's supposed to do in school, and not buying into the racist, ridiculous rhetoric. He had friends who were black. He had friends who were white. He went around this group, that group, no issues. The young man was beloved by everybody. That is an example of black excellence. But instead, they're not going to talk much about who he was and what he did and what he accomplished. It's about these white boys doing something. And now we've got so much evidence that the ones that they accused had nothing to do with it, but they still pushing it. They still, justice for Nolan, but y'all don't even know what Nolan lived like. Y'all don't even know what Nolan stood for. Y'all don't even care. You just care that a white kid could have possibly killed Nolan, and y'all running with that because you have no future. You don't even understand your past, so you have no future, so you waddle in slavery and victimhood. And it's annoying. It's called black fatigue. Good black people got to suffer under the pressure of you ignorant folk. Let's move to the next story, roll it.
And today, loved ones of Nolan Wells are uniting with faith leaders and supporters on what would have been his 19th birthday. Instead of a celebration, a national prayer rally is happening just outside of Biloxi, Mississippi tonight. DeKalb County's New Birth Missionary Baptist Church pastor, Dr. Jamal Bryant, is set to deliver a keynote address. Tonight's rally is going to serve as a moment of prayer and as a national call to action in the death of Nolan Wells, who vanished on Horn Island while enjoying the July 4th holiday with friends. His body was found 2 days later, and just last week at the National Association of Black Journalists Conference, Wells's family renewed their call for justice.
Many parents out there, you still have your children. You still can hug them. You still can call them. You still can celebrate their life with them.
Time out. I wish that we lived in a world where I can see a mother who's mourning the loss of her son, and I can see other black men around her, and these black men are doing what's right. But instead, you would never see this happen, or not never, but you'll rarely see this happen, because the one to her right is a hoodwinking, race-baiting fool, and the other one to her left, his whole life has been race-baiting. His whole life, his whole professional life, even when he was fat and stupid and race-baiting. And where does his kids go to school at? Where do Al Sharpton kids go to school? No. F that. Y'all want to be so, I'm with the black. Where do his kids go to school? I bet it ain't an HBCU. I bet they ain't live in a black neighborhood. How much you want to bet? Now, I'm saying that to say, I wish that real black men could rally around them. But instead, these fools are around her. And then Jamal Bryant. What does Nolan, I bet you Nolan don't even know who Jamal Bryant is. He didn't know who Jamal Bryant was. Why is Jamal Bryant a part of this? Finish the clip.
And we do not have that anymore.
Wells's cause of death has still not yet been determined publicly.
So here's the fool that they got associated with their family and now is doing a prayer. They can't find a better pastor than this. Let me explain something to you. Why can't they have a white pastor? This is where I feel like the racism of black people are just so prominent and they get away with it and the world is laughing at them, but in their circle, they think it's all justified. Nolan appeared that he loved everybody. Nolan's best friends were white. Based on all the pictures I've seen, most of his friends are the ones he hung out with and seemed to be closest with, from what I've been told, were these white boys. So in his death, why can't it be a mixed, unified funeral service? But they got only black people up there. They went to a white church, but the white people didn't get up there and do nothing. They didn't get up there and do the eulogy. And then you got the prayer thing. Jamal Bryant, there's many pastors in this country that could do a better job and that's blameless than this fraudulent Jamal Bryant, a celebrity pastor. Why can't a white person do it? Because they're racist. They'll never have a white person represent anything regarding their family, even though that didn't appear to be Nolan's perspective. Honor that boy. And then y'all putting these, Lord, I want to just cuss. Listen to this fool, Jamal Bryant. You tell me, does he sound like a reasonable pastor? Before we get there, let me add the fact that he cheated on his wife. He finna get in here and talk about black women. Cheat on your wife, got outside babies, was a failed pastor at Empowerment Temple, and now he's over here with Eddie Long Church. Eddie Long was diddling boys, allegedly. He settled with them. They got pictures of Eddie Long in the bathroom in his underwear. How they get a picture of him in his underwear if he not sending to little boys, grooming them at his church? Disgraced, he dies, and then Jamal Bryant takes over his church. It's a bunch of foolery. And black folks run into the hills to go to Jamal Bryant's church. That fool, after he cheated on his wife, that black queen you talking about, what did he do? He did a sermon and said, I'm still the man. That's your humility. You don't step down as a pastor. You come back and say, I'm still the man. This is what the black community is representing, the black community. Not all of us, but I would say most people think this fool is like a normal person. Roll the clip.
It's a long time for no answers. They should be, it should be cakes and candles and jokes and you old man, you're getting up there, you're going to catch up with me. That's not happening today. But you are celebrating his life.
Yeah, I'm on my way to Biloxi
Grifting.
to stand with Nolan's family and the larger community. On this day, he should be eating cake, should be arguing with his parents that now he's grown at 19 and should be able to come in whenever he wants.
And his cell phone should be.
And yet
Okay.
we're having a moment of reflection. What is ironic, Don, is that it happened on the same weekend that America celebrated its 250th birthday. And so it's a pregnant pause for our community. As much as we think that we've made strides, we're making the electric slide backwards. Mississippi is also the same ground that killed Medgar Evers and Emmett Till. And we add now to that
Time
list.
out. Emmett Till, 70 years ago. Was he killed in Biloxi? Was he killed in Ocean Springs? Was he killed on Horn Island? Then why are you making a comparison to Emmett Till 70 years ago to right today? And you don't have no evidence. This is supposed to be a man of God. God didn't give you no wisdom. You ain't got no evidence that nothing happened to the boy other than he may have drowned. But you sitting here pushing this stuff. I just can't stand these people, man. I can't stand them. That boy deserves better than the way these dumb Negroes are treating him. It's all about them. It's all about race. When he didn't live his life like that. Nolan loved everybody. Everybody loved Nolan. But you dumb Negroes are making it about race as if Nolan only belonged to y'all. And then y'all out here cheating on y'all wives and stuff. Ain't even a real pastor. Got that, you listen to his sermon, he talking about politics. He ain't preaching nothing that got to do with the Bible. Out here just giving sermonettes. I don't know how black people fall for that. We used to be in the church, grandma with that big old Bible under her arm, praying every day. Now you got these ignorant fools. Reverend Jackson ain't did a sermon since 40 years ago. Come on, man. Play the clip.
Nolan Wells. And so it's really a sobering day for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Have you spoken to the family?
I have. I was with them last weekend here in Atlanta. And Don, I was dizzied. I don't know what rock I was under. I didn't even realize that Nolan has 5 siblings. And we've not taken a moment to think about he has 2 under him who are now back in school. What is the weight of that? Of sitting in the cafeteria, riding on the bus, sitting in classrooms, knowing that your big brother should be picking you up after school.
In a white community, I want y'all to realize this. In a white community, why couldn't y'all go live in Jackson or somewhere where all the black people live at? Why y'all living in a white community, but yet you're acting like white people so dangerous that you got to tell your kids, I got to tell them, have a conversation with them, moving in spaces where people don't look like me. Why you living in spaces where people don't look like you? Oh, because the education is good there. Oh, because it's safe there. I can't go. Keep going.
And so it is not just the mother who has been vilified, the father who has been ignored, but also his siblings who are grieving.
All right, next clip.
And again, this is not, I just want to be very clear about this. This is more about the folks who are advising these young men to go out on television and give interviews. And then to one of them saying that, that Nolan Wells' mom, Christine Wansley Wells, blasted them somehow.
Time out. Wait. I'm going to show you the text message. And you tell me what the conversation between Christine Wells and Warren Hudson was. You tell me if this makes sense. And they got access to the same things I got access to. Don Lemon can interview and talk to people and do his own research like I did. Why is he out saying this stupid stuff? Ma'am, I wish that Christine Wells and I didn't have a bad relationship. And the relationship that we have bad because they don't want to talk to me. That Brandon should get airtime. I'll be willing to talk to them and interview them if they had something valuable to add. I don't mind that. They don't want to talk to me because I'm battling against their narrative that they pushing and trying to make this about race. Why did you put the picture of these boys out there acting like they killed him? When in the text message I'm about to show, you didn't seem to think they killed him when you was texting them. You didn't think that they were some racist white boys when you were communicating with them and they were communicating back. If you're communicating with the boys, why are you putting out fake information? I'm tired of being nice to these people. You putting out fake information and people that got arrested for wanting to kill them. You could have got out at any time and got off your narrow behind and said, these boys ain't had nothing to do with it. These were his friends. Let off of them. This ain't about race. Let's find out what happened to my son. But get off his friends. But instead, they on TV, they ain't his friends. Wait till you see these text messages between him and Warren. And there's more. Why you come out in the public and do this and get them threatened that somebody people trying to kill them? Why would you do that? Roll the clip.
And social media by putting pictures out there. I just don't, where have we gotten to that you are demonizing in some way or criticizing a grieving mother and the lawyers, I guess, treating her as if she's on trial?
It is really just on brand for what America does.
America.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the most unprotected species on the planet is the black woman.
Oh, really?
And so for her nursing credentials to now be put into question, her character when she is not on trial.
Time out.
With 45
Nursing credentials put on. One person made a complaint. Shut the front door. Chris, Ashley, what's her name? Warren's mother. Chris, no. Ashley Cole. I want to call her Christine Cole or something. Ashley Cole. Ashley, I'm sorry. But they got all kinds of people asking to oust her. You talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of messages. They claim Christine Wells got one. Her credentials are up for grabs or whatever being complained on. I don't think nobody's saying anything. Her own words. When you are practicing medicine in a heavily white community and you come on television and you say, well, I got to have conversations with my kids about moving in spaces with people that don't look like them. And I want to say something to my mom, especially my black moms. If a white lady were to come on to an interview in an all-black neighborhood and say she has to talk to her children about being around people that don't look like her, I swear to God, she would lose her job and license in the same day. I think that's crazy. What you mean you gotta talk to your kids about being around black people? You know how stupid that sounds? But then black people can do it to white people and it means nothing. I wouldn't wanna go to a doctor that says she gotta teach her kids about being around people that look like me. How do I feel safe with you being a nurse practitioner or a nurse or someone that gives service to somebody that could save somebody's life and you are a racist? I would never say something like that. It's not right. Mourning the death of your son aside, but you still don't get to come out and ruin other people's lives. That's not fair either. My oldest son, my kid, they got friends that are white. If my son came back, somebody said he drowned hanging out with his friends who are white, and I would not put them boys on a television unless I knew for a fact they had something to do with my son's death. I would call his mama, they mama. Hey, what do you know? I need to know what's going on. And they're cooperating with me. I'm not going to put her kids out there when I don't have no evidence that they did nothing to my boy. Because my boy gone, they don't mean that they kids got to be taken through the mud if they didn't do nothing. That's reasonable. Let them finish. Let them finish. I'm hot today. Let them finish.
5 days out, no subpoena, no person of interest, nobody is brought in. You have an autopsy with a missing stomach and a missing throat, and we have no answers. And because she's asking legitimately, what has happened to my son, then she is the bad guy. She didn't name any of those young men. She
Yes,
just
she
wants
did.
to know legitimately, why is my son put in that same place? And it's the same position, might I add, Don, that Emmett Till's mother was in. Exact same position that Merle Evers, the widow of
Stop it.
Medgar
Stop it.
Evers, found.
I can't. This ignorant Negro brought up Emmett Till, said that Christine Wells was in the same position as Emmett Till's mama. I swear, you ignorant fools, and God have mercy on your soul for being this stupid. And every black man in America should be on his head for diminishing what happened to Emmett Till. Where have we gotten as a black community that we let a man say something this stupid, and because you agree with him politically, you let it go? This Negro shouldn't be able to step foot in a black facility comparing Emmett Till to Nolan Wells. Emmett Till was a little kid. He was 13 years old, 12 or 13. Emmett Till had white people come to his house and take him, murder him, put a cotton gin around his neck, and drown him in the water. 100% racist. 100% unjustified. We 100% know what happened to Emmett Till. And you say his mama had to go through what Emmett Till mama have to go through? You see the open casket in Emmett Till's death? It was no report of an autopsy of no blunt force trauma, no indication of foul play. That's what Nolan Wells' autopsy was. Emmett Till's autopsy was him being beat to death. She had an open casket, and if you Google it right now, you will gasp at how mutilated his body was. And he was a 13-year-old kid. And you got these ignorant fools out here comparing that to Emmett Till. I'm sick of y'all, man. Y'all, I'm sorry, forgive me for getting frustrated. But the audacity that Nolan Wells, at this point in the investigation, there's no indication of foul play. He had no bruising to his face, the side of his face, not even the back of his head. That's the layer underneath the skin that had redness. It wasn't bruised. It wasn't blunt force. There wasn't a skull fracture. There's no injuries to his face, his neck, his arms, his legs that indicated that somebody had done something to him as an 18-year-old man. And you compare that to a 12-year-old, 13-year-old boy that got mutilated by white racists. I want to cuss. I may not even be able to watch that. Give me one more clip and I'm done. I don't think I can watch no more of this fool.
In the Nolan Wells case, though, you said no one has been brought in. Now, no one may be brought in. What if they have nothing to do with it, or that they find, at least in their investigation, their conclusion that it was accidental? Therefore, there wouldn't be a need to bring anybody in.
Yeah, well, let's bring them in to find that out.
Time out.
It's a
Ignorant person. Bring them in. They interviewed 60 people. The boys already talked to law enforcement. What are y'all missing? Do I gotta breathe air for you fools? Like, what are you saying? Nigga, you didn't do no research? Negro did no research. None. They were already interviewed. Finish the clip and I'm moving on.
amazing. There's still no questions. How do you end up with Nolan's phone? How was Nolan's phone in your home when you at first said you didn't know where it was and they had to find it through a locator? How did you all leave together, come back? There's still a whole lot of questions that I think shouldn't be argued in social media, but should be argued or questioned in the sheriff's office, but we're not seeing any of that.
We're not seeing any of that. Oh my gosh, help me. All right, text messages. Let's